Hello everyone, it's Marilyn. Welcome to my channel. I have my second video tutorial with the January limited edition kit by My Creative Scrapbook. I tried to create the effect that the bubbles are spreading out from the photo, and I'm going to show you how I made it in this video tutorial. This is the January limited edition kit. You will find the link to this kit in the description box down below. Let's get started. Okay, I start with the Distress Oxide ink, and I'm inking the paper with the broken china Distress Oxide ink. And this sound that you hear is my cat. She wants to enter, and I close the door because I am making the voice to this video, but Kiara wants to come to the room. Okay, let's I continue inking of the paper. I'm not blending very well, as you see, because I have planned to make layers of color. I want to intense this blue, so I continue creating. It's like a irregular shape, but in I follow like a triangle form. Once I apply the color here, I will add a little of color to this part here, to the left top of the paper. And now I'm going to start to intensify the color, giving more layers with the ink. I think that it is okay now, so I want to add other color, but let me show you. This is the broken china color, as you see. And now I'm going to use the antique linen. It is more like a yellow ivory color, something like that. You will see. And I will add this color here. In this corner, I want to add like some touches of the yellow on the background, and I'm using this color because the photo has similar color, are not exactly yellow, but I want to enhance my page with more vibrant color than matte. As you see here, the colors, I don't know if you can see very well. And now I add a little of color to the top left, and here's when I add the third color. It is a gray tone, and I want to blend it over the blue and over the yellow colors. I'm trying to create like the color has, or this irregular shape has some shadows, something like that. I hope you understand what I try. Here's when I add the stencil and water. This time I'm not using modeling paste. I'm just spraying water over the stencil, and because the Distress Oxide ink react with water, it will once you spray the water over the stencil and the water go through all the holes and all the design, you see that once you spray the water and you let it a few seconds, then with a paper towel remove the excess of water, and when you remove the stencil, you will notice you see how cool it looks, because the water go through the design of the stencil and remove the ink react to water, so you will get the design of the stencil on your paper. It is so cool, and I will do this in all the area that has ink. You can create this with your Distress Oxide ink and the different stencil that you have. It is so cool, this technique, love it. Okay, now I take this lid from a bottle, and I'm going to make some stamp here. I'm stamping with the same Distress Oxide ink that I use, and it will be my guide, this circle, to create the bubbles that I want to the effect that I want to create. The photo is a lady making bubbles, and I want to like a bring or create the effect that the bubbles from the photo are spreading out. So this is why I'm making these circles or stamping these circles on the paper. Now that everything is very dry, I am blending I'm inking and blending very well around. I want to add more blue on the paper. But this time, as you see, I am blending everything and add more color in some areas. And once I add these areas, the new blue, I will make the same effect, but this time I'm using a sponge. It's easier with the sponge because they are wet and you can sponge over the stencil and they remove the ink and you have the effect too. So it's other way to make the technique. Once everything is dry, I am apply white paint splatter over all the area to create layers of texture. And I'm going to let it dry the page, and meanwhile I am painting a piece of cheesecloth, and I'm doing the same using the Mint ink blending tool to paint the cheesecloth. Then I take a piece of corrugate and I am inking the corrugate too with the same color, because I want to use this as a matte for my photo. And I'm framing the cheesecloth. I want that they look with a lot of textures. And this is my photo. And I decided to use this piece of paper here from the Kaiser Craft collection to create a matte for my photo. So I'm going to cut this piece of the paper. Now I am using the Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink to distress all the border of the paper. I'm using the back of the paper that is blue and has this design. And I adhere the photo now to the paper, and with my scissor I'm going to distress all the edges of the mat. I want to create this vintage look. So now I am adhering all the pieces. I adhere the cheesecloth, the corrugate, and my photo with the mat to the paper. And I am playing with the cheesecloth and frame all the borders of the fabric. Here's when I add the Prima flowers from the kit. I choose these two colors, and I also adhere a piece of the corrugate to the top left of the paper, and I'm going to adhere the flowers in this corner, corner here. Once I adhere all the flowers, I turn my paper and I'm going to trim off all the excess here. This is the Kaiser Craft sticker sheets that comes in the kit, and I want to ink the butterflies, so I'm going to take and cut 4 butterflies from the sticker sheets and inking with the sponge and the same blue that I use for my page. Now I'm going to cut the butterfly and adhere to the page. I prefer adhere the butterflies with hot glue, because once the hot glue is dry, it gives you the effect that is in 3D, so I prefer that. And okay, my title is this quote that is from one of the papers, and I love the message, so I'm going to cut this strip from the paper and distress all the borders, and I'm going to cut in pieces to and add 3D foam tape, because I want to pop up the words So I use 3D foam tape and adhere it on the back of each strip here. Now I adhere my title, and I need to adhere and secure this butterfly. She wants to fly. And adhere here. And once I have all this done, I want to add more color and to enhance the flowers, and I'm using a paintbrush with the same broken china color, and add color around the title, and with the yellow and the sponge I will add more yellow in some areas. Now I decided to stamp a letter, and I have this stamp from Prima, and with the same Distress Oxide Inks I stamp randomly around all the around the flowers and over the paints in different areas here. Okay, I also make some white paint splatter, but I had some problem with my camera during this film. Now I take the same lid that I use at the end, and here's when I start to add with white acrylic paint, stamp many circles around the flowers, around the paint, because it will be the the bubbles that I want to create. So here is when I add all the bubbles, and I also take my paintbrush almost dry with a little white paint and fill all the circles, and now I'm creating the shadows of the bubbles. I just look the photo, I try to recreate the same bubbles that are in the photo in the page, and this is how I made it. Once I have all the bubbles, I want to add some textures on the page. I first add some earthstone, but like I told you, I have a lot of problems with my camera and I lost this part of the film. So after I add the earthstone, I add the micro beads that are these little tiny crystals that I am adding right now with gel medium. I just take a little gel with my paintbrush, pick up the crystals and adhere it to the page, and in the same way I add the earthstones. Once I add all these glass micro beads, these ones are micro beads. Once I add all these micro beads, I will add some pearls to the page, and I think that it is the last step that I did in my page. You can see here all the close-up and all the details. I love how it turned my page. And remember that I let you in the box down below the link to the kit, to my social media and my blog, if you want to see more of other works that I did. Well, let me know if you like this video with a thumbs up. Here are 2 more videos that maybe you are interested. I see you soon with other video tutorial. Nos vemos. Bye bye.